Have you ever had a conversation that went a bit like this?
Hey, Tony.
Hi, Ebony. What's happening?
I'm just trying to work out the quickest way to get to Newcastle.
Oh, nice. Well, what's on in Newcastle?
I need to pick up a car I just bought off Gumtree.
Yeah, great. You're driving down or are you going to catch a train?
Well, driving down will be quicker. We're just not sure if we should go through Tamworth or head down the mountain to Gloucester.
Oh, true. My sister went Gloucester way last week and the road was really rough, so it was a very slow trip.
Oh, that's what I thought. Guess we'll just go down through Tamworth then.
In this conversation, Tony is providing evidence of why Ebony should avoid using the road to Gloucester, because it was really rough and therefore slow. But as well as providing evidence, he also tells Ebony where his information comes from. His sister, who went that way last week. This is something we can call referencing. Referencing, even in a casual conversation like this, strengthens what we want to say, because more than one person is saying it. By saying who he got this information from, Tony is also indicating that because it comes from his sister, it is trustworthy and good quality. Just like we informally reference ideas in casual conversation, more formal referencing is a very important part of the work we do as a student at university. Let's take a look at why this is so. Firstly, universities are research environments. The work of lecturers and students is to explore topics by researching to see what studies, theories, or interpretations of the facts are already out there. This means that students need to do a lot of reading and finding out about the topics they are studying. This is what we call looking for evidence. Secondly, at university, you will be asked to submit assignments which demonstrate our skills as a student. Referencing is one of those skills. Referencing shows the people who are marking our work that we have done the research. Referencing demonstrates to them that we have found evidence to back up our argument. Evidence provides our work with authority and different perspectives on an argument. It proves that we are competent at research, and this is something our lecturers want to know. It also demonstrates that we value the work others have done and that we want to recognise them for their work by acknowledging them in ours. By providing the reference, we allow those who read our work to look at the same sources and use them too if they want to. Once we know why we reference, we then have to figure out when we reference. Many students find this to be the hard part. Here's a rule of thumb to help you work this out. You need to reference when you use facts, figures, or details you find somewhere to support a point you are making. We call this reporting. Use a framework or model created by another person. We call this acknowledging. Using exact words from another author. We call this quoting. Restating the ideas from another author but using our own words to do so. This is called paraphrasing. So now we know why we reference and when we reference. The next part is to know what goes into a reference. You may already know that there are many different styles of referencing, which have rules around what you need to include when you reference. The good news is that there are lots of resources out there to help you with this. However, no matter what the referencing style, the basics of what information you should provide remains the same. You need to know who wrote or authored the information or created the work. Usually, we look for the author's family name and first initial. Then we look for the date it was published. This is usually a year date such as 2020. The name of the work or title is important. Some authors publish many works, so it is necessary to know which work you are using. How an information source is published is also important. We can tell a lot about information by the way it has been published, and this also helps others find it. Lastly, where you found this information is necessary to know, so that you can find it again or so that others can find it too. In the case of a website or an online book, having a URL you can go back to is really helpful. The final piece of the referencing puzzle is to understand where we should reference in our work at university. It is important to know that referencing takes place in 2 locations. Don't forget, there are lots of resources out there which will help you with this. Firstly, we must reference in the text of our work. That means that in any paragraph we write, which contains the ideas of other authors, we put in a reference. This, unsurprisingly, is called in-text referencing. This reference is brief, usually only containing the author's surname and the date it was published. The second place we must provide a reference is at the end of our work, in something that might be called a reference list. This is called reference list referencing, and the information we provide here will help the markers of our work find the same sources we have used. We use the same information we put in text, but we include further detail, including the name of the work, where it was published, and so on. Don't forget, there are lots of resources to help you master the skill of referencing. It may be useful to think of referencing as providing a map of where you have been on your research journey. Each reference allows others to find the same source of information that you have. Each reference is also a way for you to show off your research skills as a student. You want your lecturers and markers to think highly of your skills. To make sure you are on the right track, it's a good idea to find out what style of referencing you need to use in each unit you study at UNE. Contact your unit coordinator for advice. Once you know what this is, you can access the many Academic Skills Office resources on referencing to give you specific examples of how to go about it. Now it is your turn to have a go.